Have you ever felt like being strong was your only option? Like everyone needed something from you, and no matter how tired, overwhelmed, or hurting you were, you kept going because stopping didn't feel like a choice? Welcome to Healing is an Art, and so are you. I am Yesenia Soltero, author of Healing is an Art. Thank you for joining me as we continue this journey together. In today's episode, we will explore Chapter 3. Being strong was my only option. Let's begin. Chapter 3. Being strong was my only option. From a very early age, I learned that I had to be strong, not because I chose it, but because life demanded it of me. When those around you are too wounded to hold you, you learn to hold them, even when your arms are far too small. That learning becomes a way of living that steals your innocence, but also reveals a strength you did not know existed. Emotional hunger and codependence. There was not a single moment when I had to be strong for everyone. There were many. Over time, I understood that I had learned to feel emptiness by helping others. Being useful gave me a sense of belonging, of value, of not being alone. But that need concealed a deep emotional hunger, the constant search for love, validation, and security. Helping became my language. If someone needed something, I was there. If someone fell, I lifted them up. And the more I gave, the more I was convinced that they would not abandon me. Being useful in order not to be abandoned. Becoming indispensable turned into my identity. There was always someone looking for me, not to ask how I was doing, but to ask me for something. And I said yes, even when it meant neglecting myself, breaking my routines, postponing my dreams, and draining my own resources. In relationships, I ignored warning signs out of fear of being alone. I believed that if I gave enough, love would be guaranteed. With time, I understood a difficult truth. You can give everything and still be abandoned. In family and friendships, the pattern repeated itself. As long as I served, as long as I was available, I had a place. When I stopped giving, I disappeared. That was when I understood that being useful is not the same as being loved. The trap of self sacrifice. The cost of living for others was high: physical exhaustion, emotional fatigue, a constant sense of emptiness. I slept little, ate from anxiety, postponed my dreams for those of others. There were moments when I felt invisible, used, without value. For a long time, I believed that this was love, until I understood that sacrificing myself for people who did not value my giving was not love. It was self destruction, learning to choose myself. There came a point when I knew that this life was not sustainable. My faith opened my eyes. God does not call us to live a constant life of martyrdom. I began to give thanks even for what I did not understand, and that gratitude returned my focus. Today, I know that there are sacrifices that are worth making: growing, healing, caring for those I love. But I also know that giving myself without limits to those who do not respect my well-being is not a virtue. It's abandonment of self. I have learned to set boundaries without guilt. If someone steals my peace or wounds me deeply, the answer is no. I no longer live to be useful. I live to be authentic. Final reflection. Today I can look back and say to who I once was, your value does not depend on what you do for others. God loves you for who you are, not for how much you give. You are enough. You do not need to be indispensable to be loved. The emotional hunger that led me to self-sacrifice taught me this. When we give without measure, we end up empty. Today, I choose to fill my own cup first so that I can give from a healthy place. And although I am still healing, I can say with certainty, being strong no longer means carrying everything. Being strong means knowing when to let go. Before we close, I'd like to share a final thought. As you've listened to these chapters, you may have noticed moments where my voice pauses, where emotion rises through the surface, or where a word is repeated or corrected. Those moments were intentionally left in, not because they are perfect, but because healing is not perfect. For much of my life, I believed strength meant pushing through, carrying everything, and never letting anyone see me struggle. But healing has taught me something different. Healing is not a destination, it is a process. It is messy, it is human, it unfolds one step, one choice, and sometimes one breath at a time. The pauses in my voice remind me that I'm not reading a story that happened long ago. I am sharing a journey that continues to shape me even now. And perhaps that is the beauty of healing. We don't have to wait until everything is fixed to begin living, growing, or sharing our story. We simply have to keep moving forward. The song accompanying this chapter is Choose Myself First. A short excerpt follows. The full song is available on Spotify and all major digital platforms. Thank you for being here, and remember, healing is not a destination, it is a process. Healing is an art, and so are you.
I wore strength like it was on, carried more than I could hold. Called it love, called it purpose, but it slowly took my soul.